Hello, and welcome to this lesson on the first part of Blinding Lights. Hopefully you've watched the previous video where we did the G minor natural scale, and just to warm us up for this video, let's start by playing through the G minor natural scale. If you remember, I'll just demonstrate it quickly. It goes like this. Great, so let's do that together. 3, 4, 4. Okay, so that's a lot of what we're going to be doing in this piece, actually. That's lots of the notes. And actually, to get started, let's just have a look at this bar. In this bar, we have a rhythm T, 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 T. I'll say that again for you. T, 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 T. So what we're going to do now is, because this is quite a tricky rhythm to get our heads around, let's play the scale, but with that rhythm. So let me demonstrate for you. Etc, etc. So shall we try that now? Let's do it together. So the G minor natural scale, as we did just now, but on every note we'll play that T, 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 T rhythm. Okay? 3, 4. Okay, great. So that actually has hopefully cracked one of the trickier bits in learning this piece, which is for rhythm in this bar. So let's go through this now with the Kodai sounds. So rather than as we maybe were just looking through it straight away, because rhythm is maybe the trickiest thing about this actually, let's go through just bar by bar and try and work out rhythm. So, as we've done just now, we've done the second bar already, which is T, 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 T. And let's drive that together actually, just saying the Kodai sounds this bar. So we've got quavers here, so T, T, another quaver T, and the Kodai sound we use for a dotted crotchet. So, for example, here, or we have a dotted crotchet here, which I know it doesn't look like it, but we have a quaver tied to a crotchet, so that's effectively a dotted crotchet. It's T. So whenever we see this, and actually I've written it out here, we say T. So in this bar, T, 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 oops, excuse me, T, 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 T. Let's do that together. 3, 4, T, 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 and again, 3, 4, T, 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 T. Okay, brilliant. So that's this bar, and actually that rhythm repeats in fact, it's exactly the same notes and everything in this bar. So that's a bit of a rhythm already. Let's look at this first bar here. So what we have there is ta, ta, ti. So can you see it's just crotchet, crotchet rest, another crotchet, and then ti. So it's quaver rest, ti. Let's try that together. 3, 4, ta, ta, ti. Okay, one more time. 3, 4, ta, ta, ti. Brilliant. Hopefully you'll get the hang of this. And by the way, we're going to be repeating these rhythms a lot throughout this lesson. So even if you don't get it straight away, don't feel bad, because I'm sure like by the end of this we will have got it. Okay, so so these first and second bars actually repeat here as well. So let's just do these. Let's put these first and second bars together, and then hopefully we should have the rhythm for the whole first line already. So just so I show you how the first two bars connect in terms of rhythm, let me just demonstrate for you. Ta, ta, ti, 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 ta. Let me try that again. Ta, ta, ti, 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 te. Okay, so as I showed, it's quite tricky. It's easy to get it wrong. So again, don't worry if you don't get it right. We'll get the hang of it. So let's try those first two bars together. Ta, ta, ti, 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 te. And again. 3, 4. Ta, ta, ti, 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 te. Okay, so now let's try putting that whole first line together. So it's effectively exactly the same rhythm here, and then, yeah, we repeat it. So let's try that. 3, 4. Ta, ta, ti, 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 te, ta, ta, ti, 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 te. Okay, so that's the rhythm for this first line. And then just in this next section, and what we'll do, by the way, is we'll learn this bit. And then later on in the video, we'll learn the second half of the piece. So don't worry about that for now. So the rhythm here is ti 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 te ti 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 ta te. So this bar is actually exactly the same as this one. I know it looks slightly different because of where it's written out, rather than the quaver tied to a crotchet. But it's exactly the same rhythm, so let's just do that one. 3, 4, ti 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 te. Okay, and again. 3, 4, ti 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 te. And then finally, this last bar, it's slightly different because rather than the te coming there, we have a ta before. So let me demonstrate. Ti 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 ta te. So the difficulty here is that because this is slightly off the beat, this te comes, maybe we would expect it to come either on the fourth beat or on the first beat here, but it comes just in between. So I'll demonstrate one more time. Ti 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 ta te. Okay, let's try that together. 3, 4. Ti 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 ta te. And again. 3, 4. Ti 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 ta te. Okay, so let's work backwards. Let's connect this with the previous bar. So this to the end of this section. 3, 4. Ti 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 te ti 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 ta te. One more time. 3, 4. Ti 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 te ti 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 ta te. Okay, so now let's try doing this whole first half all the way through from the very beginning. Ready? 3, 4. Ta ta ti 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 te ta ta ti 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 te ti 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 te ti 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 ta te. Okay, so that is the rhythm for the first section. Don't worry if you haven't got it 100% because we'll keep on going over it. But for now, what I'd like you to do is try and work out the notes in this first section. And if you remember actually from the G minor scale, don't forget we have a B flat and an E flat in the key signature. So it's just something to think about when you look at these notes just now. Okay, so let me put that up on screen. Okay, so I haven't put the notes in these two bars because it's exactly the same as the first two. So I'm sure once you get it here, you'll remember it here. So what we can do actually is let's just say the notes to the rhythm. So we'll go like this: C, C, best C, D, G, best C, etc., etc. Again for this first section, and just in case, I'm sure you know, but just in case you're not aware, best is just B flat, and it's just an easy way of saying B flat, because otherwise if we have to say a really quick B flat, it gets a bit tricky, so we just replace it with best. Okay, so from the beginning, just saying the note names to the rhythm. 3, 4, C, C, best C, D, G, best C, C, best C, D, G, best F, D, C, best F, D, C, best C. Okay, great. So let's now think about how we would play that with the left hand fingers. So again, take a moment and try and work out which what would we do with our left hand. And again, remember, because of our B flats, B flat should be a low second finger. So yeah, think about that now. Okay, so I'll put that up on screen. So exactly the same as we did with the note names, let's say the names of the fingers and do it to the rhythm of the piece. Okay, from the beginning. 3, 4, 3, 3, 2, 3, open, open, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 3. Great, let's do it one more time. 3, 4, 3, 3, 2, 3, 0, 0, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 0, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 3. Okay, so now we've done the, we know the rhythm, and hopefully we're a bit more confident because we've done it quite a few more times now. But we will keep on doing it, so don't worry. We've done the rhythm, we've done the note names, and we've done the fingers. Let's just have a think about playing it. So before we go straight into playing it all the way through, let's maybe have a look at a few moments. So yeah, maybe let's play just the first 2 bars actually. So let me just demonstrate that for you. So we have. So that's our first 2 bars. One thing to be careful of is just we go 2, 2, 3, 0, 0. So there's quite a bit of string crossing there. Maybe let's do that. So let's try that. After 4, 3, 4. Let's try that again. 3, 4. And now let's do the first 2 bars together. So starting on 3rd finger, 3, 4. And again, 3, 4. Okay, so as you remember, the next 2 bars are exactly the same. So let's try doing the whole first line now. So it's just the first 2 bars and then an exact repeat of that. So 3, 4. Okay, so that's the first line. Now let's look at the next 2 and a bit bars. Let me just play it for you. Okay, so actually here, it's kind of like scale down, but missing out certain, like for example, we don't play first finger, so 2, 0, 3, 2. So yeah, let's try playing that together. So starting on 2nd finger on D, 3, 4. Very good. And just watching out for this ta-te. So it's slightly different to maybe what we're expecting. Just watching out for that last rhythm, 3, 4. Okay, so let's try playing this whole first section all the way through. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fantastic. So let's move on now to the next section. For now, don't worry about these semiquavers here. We'll come back to that right at the end and look at that. But I would like you just to try and think about the kodai sounds from here until the end. And actually, again, I've written out the tes here. And in fact, actually, sorry, before we work it out, let's just have a look at what we have here. So we have a quaver, or a T, tied to a semi-breathe. So we've got 4 beats here, plus a quaver. So that's T-ta. Let's try it together. So I'll do 3, 4, T-ta. Okay, let's try that last, it's just the last note actually, let's try that together. 3, 4, T-ta. And again, 3, 4, T-ta. Okay, so that is that bar. And oh, actually, maybe let's have a look at this little section. So what we have here, this is a bit confusing because we start the bar with a quaver, and then we have these crotches, but it ends up off the beat. If you listen, 3, 4, ti ta ta te ti ta ta ti ta. Okay, I'll do that one more time. In fact, before we do this bar, let's just do this bar on its own. So it's ti ta ta te. Okay, let's try that together. So we're always off a beat. So ti ta ta te. Okay, together. 3, 4. Ti ta ta te. And again. 3, 4. Ti ta ta te. Great. Okay, and this bar starts exactly the same, and then we go into our ti ta. So ti ta 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 ti ta. Let's try that together. So I'm really watching out for our ti ta at the end. 3, 4. Ti ta 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 ti ta. Together. Again. 3, 4. Ti ta 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 ti ta. Okay, so let's now add the previous bar in. So we'll just do this last line here. Okay, 3, 4. Ti ta ta te ti ta 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 ti ta. Again. 3, 4. Ti ta ta te ti ta 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 ti ta. Okay, so we've done this last line together. Try and work out this third line on your own. It's actually very similar to this previous one. So yeah, just take a moment to do that, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, so you may have noticed actually it's really similar to the first line, but if you can see in the first line we had crotchet, rest, and then crotchet, rest. But here it sounds really similar, but we don't have rest this time. So rather than it, the first line is ta, ta, ti, 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 te, but this time it's ta, te, ti, 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 te. Let's just try that again. So just the first 2 bars, I'll just demonstrate. Tu, te, ti, 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 te. Okay, let's try that together. So we start with a tu and a te, ti, ti, ti. So the second bar is exactly the same, actually. Cool. So the first 2 bars of this third line, starting with 2, 3, 4. Tu, te, ti, 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 te. Let's try that again. 3, 4. Tu, te, ti, 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 te. Okay, cool. And actually, you'll be pleased to know the third and fourth bars are exactly the same, so we've got them for free. So let's try doing this whole third line with the guitar sounds. Okay, 3, 4. Tu, te, ti, 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 te. Tu, te, ti, 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 te. Okay, so now, you may have guessed, let's connect that this third line to this final line here. So we'll do it all the way through. I'm really watching out for ti ta at the end. Okay, let's try that. So third and fourth lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tu, te, ti, 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 te. Tu, te, ti, 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 te. Ti ta ta te, ti ta 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 ti ta. Okay, so that's the third and fourth lines. And again, if you haven't got it right, really don't worry, because we're going to keep on saying it. And yeah, so the next thing is to go through, have a look through, and try and think of the note names for our third and fourth lines. Okay, so here we are on screen. Again, because these 2 bars are exactly the same, I haven't written anything there. It's exactly the same as these first 2. So let's go through, yeah, third and fourth lines. And again, we'll just say the note names to the rhythm. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. C, C, bass, C, D, G, bass, C, C, bass, C, D, G, bass, F, D, C, bass, F, D, C, bass, C. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, C, bass, C, D, G, bass, C, C, bass, C, D, G, bass, F, D, C, bass, F, D, C, bass, C. Okay, so again, hopefully you're getting a bit more familiar with rhythm. Let's now do the fingers. So yeah, try and work out what the fingers are for these last two lines. Okay, so actually, as I said, these two last lines are very similar to the first two, especially the rhythm. I mean, the notes. The rhythm is a little bit different, but the notes are almost identical. So let's go through these with the fingers, with the rhythm. Third and fourth lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 3, 2, 3, open, open, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, oh, 3, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 3, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, oh, 3, 2, 3. Okay, brilliant. So, before we play the whole thing, let's maybe look at some specific bars. I know. Let's do this very last note to begin with. So it's basically a really long, it's on the down bow actually, so it's just a long third finger. So it's 3, 4. Let's try that. So after 3, and then we do a nice long down bow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. It might just seem like a really long C at the moment, so let's put it in context. So let's go from the bar before. So from here, let me just play it once so you hear how it sounds in context. So. Okay, let's try that together. So again, starting on a down bow, second finger on D. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 3, 4. Okay, and now let's go from the bar before. So it's very similar. Let me just demonstrate this bar. Etc, etc. So yeah, last line. Together, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's our last line. Let's have a look at our third line now. So let me just play a bit for you. So actually, it's almost identical to the first line, but we have rather than crotchet rest, we just have a bit more sustained notes. So let's just try that, the third line together. So starting third finger on G. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brilliant. So let's try combining the third and fourth lines now. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time from the third line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fantastic. So that's almost everything. There's just one tiny little bit that we haven't looked at, and it is the semigravers. So let's think about how we play them. So it's F, G, A, B flat, and it's 3, open, 1, 2, 3. So let's just play it as a scale, going up to the C, like this. So just those notes, so 3, open, 1, 2, and let's add this note in, 3. So together, third finger on C, open G, 1, and a low 2, because we have our B flat, a low 2, and then 3. Together, 3, 4, 3. And again, 3, 4. Okay, so one detail that we have here is we have a slur. So let's try doing exactly what we just did, but in one big down bow, like this. And then let's do it ever so slightly faster. So, da dee dee dee, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, and this can be quite tricky because always when we have a slur across a string, it can be difficult. So make sure you're ready straight away to go from the third finger to the open. That's the tricky bit. So let's try it again. Make sure you're really coordinated with the left and right hands. 3, 4, 4. Okay, really good. The difficulty now is that because these are semiquavers, so they've got a bit faster. So let's practice speeding up a bit. So let's try a bit faster. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and again. 1, 2, 3. Now a bit faster. Like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now in tempo. So let's see if we can do that. Nice and fast. Again, the difficulty, getting a really clean string crossing of the first two notes. 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now the last thing we should probably add is when we get here to the C, let's make sure this is 2 beats. So we've got to go from these really fast 4 notes here to this kind of long 2-beat note. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 3. Good. Make sure. Don't worry if you haven't got this bit perfect yet, because these semiquavers are quite difficult, and later in the piece we have to do similar things. So I'm sure, from over the course of the next few videos, it'll probably get better and better. But if you have got it, let's try connecting this bit maybe to the end of this bar. So let's play. So we just did it in context. So the semiquavers and the next 2 bars. Okay? After 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the very last thing to mention is the bowing. So I haven't actually spoken about this yet, and you may have noticed that I've been doing some slightly unusual things, and this is what I am doing. We're doing just down, down, and then that way it means the rest works out. So let's just practice that in the first, but let's just play the first 2 notes. Down, down. So it's down, rest, down. Let's try that. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And then we have the same thing here. So actually, just with thinking about our bowing, let's just play out the first line. And make sure we get the down, down in those 2 bars. Ready from the beginning? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then here we don't have to worry about any bowings, it just bows itself out, so just down, up, etc, etc. Here, as we practiced actually, starting on a down, the semiquavers slurred into this note. And then, oh here, yeah, if we do another down here, again everything will work out. This is a bit trickier because we have a 2-beat note. So if you do a tiny retake, try and make the 2-beat note here as long as possible, and then another down there. So let's try that. So and with the semiquavers actually, it's always good to practice them. So from here after 3, and these 2 bars, remembering our down, down. Well, 1, 2, 3. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Okay, And then we have exactly the same thing here. Down, down, and then, yeah, I think that's all the bearings in this piece. So let's try playing it all the way from the very beginning to the end, and remembering all things like, so the low second finger on our B flats, all our down downs, making sure that we catch the different rhythm here and here, making sure our semiquavers are really clear, and yeah, all watching out for this Tita here. So lots of things to think about, but let's try going from the very beginning to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. So that is the first part of Blinding Lights. If there's anything that you didn't quite get, please feel free to go back in the video and try it again. But yeah, that's all for now. So thank you very much, and keep on practicing with that. Thank you.